In a studio that's in a basement comes the epic story of how two friends changed the future of the movie podcast game forever. The reviews are in. Boys Life magazine gives the High Sci podcast 4.5 acorns. The Daily Bugle says, these guys are super legit. And Pope Francis declares the podcast as life-affirming. From the kid who tried to get smart with David Spade and got fucking old.
You're still out. You're still bad.
And the guy who can name all four Baldwin brothers.
Alec, William, Daniel, and the baby boy, Stephen.
Live from the studio of his parents' basement. The Have You Seen It podcast.
Welcome back to the Have You Seen It podcast. We are back here today in the studio, kind of revamping, re-upping the TV Tuesdays.
Yeah, everyone else is doing a revamp. Everyone else is just the
doing
same.
Remakes
Remakes, sequels, prequels. You know, so why the fuck can't we?
Yeah, but what's cool about TV Tuesdays now is we're kind of simplifying it more.
Yes.
So it'll be one half and then second half. So we'll do it 2 weeks. So we'll do two shows a month.
The last TV Tuesday we did was Dark Crystal, and what a ride that was!
Man, that was awesome. I can't wait for season 2.
What a journey!
Yeah,
what a journey. That seemed like we recorded that for so long, like over such a long
did.
period.
Why? Because we only did 2 episodes.
2 episodes each one, so we really got to say, yeah. So these ones we're gonna split in 2 parts because well, first we got to talk about the series we're doing. We're doing the new Amazon show, Hunters.
Yeah, starring Al Pacino.
Old Al Pacino.
And man, first and foremost, I had talked to you about this because I had watched the first 4 or 5 before you watched all of them. And you're like, yeah, I watched 1. But dude, this is one of my favorite Al Pacino roles of all time.
Which is a crazy thing to say because he's been in Godfather.
I know,
he's been in some of the biggest films. Scarface. He's been in so many films. For you to say that, that's big. Heat. I mean, he has 30 films that are probably in the top 100 of the best films ever made. I mean, but yeah, this is a more subdued because he's not on cocaine anymore.
That's kind of what it is. It's just like I kind of put Al Pacino in 2 categories: the young Al Pacino and the old Al Pacino. You know.
But I loved cocaine Al Pacino too. It gave us heat.
It did.
She's got a great ass. You don't write that.
You don't.
He just says
that's
that.
all improv.
And it's inappropriate now, and it was inappropriate then. But they said you can't write that shit. That's pure Pacino,
can't take it
baby.
out.
That's pure Pacino.
It is.
But yeah, I love him. I love him in everything. Besides, I bring it up all the time. Besides Jack and Jill, where he played himself as Al Pacino.
Understandable why you didn't like.
And I hope they at least. And he wasn't even on cocaine for that.
No, he wasn't.
That's the problem.
That was stone cold sober. I don't know how he got through it.
I'm surprised he didn't relapse after that one. But,
he's like, fuck it, I'm going back.
Yeah,
I can't
there
do
can't
this
be
anymore.
If this is life, then
if this is my new reality, I'm going back to
I was
coked
better
up Pacino.
on the people at least liked me on the drugs. Well, yeah, but this is it's a different type of show for sure. Let's just get into the premise of Hunters. Hunters is based on a fictional group of Nazi hunters in the 1970s who are hunting Nazis in our own backyard.
Yes.
They're not going out to do it.
A little history lesson here called Operation Paperclip, which was a real thing that the United States government did. They brought 1,600 Nazi scientists over to live in the United States and to work on the space program.
That's the ones we brought over on paper, though. I mean, how many came over that? I mean, that's the whole premise of this show is, one, a lot of people did bring them over, but a lot of Nazis just came over. Because it's fictional, but I'm guessing the whole plan is to retake America. Why not, right? I don't know why they wouldn't be trying to retake Germany at this point. But they've moved on from Germany, and now they are trying to establish a foothold here in the U.S. of A.
Yes.
But if we got anything to say about that, it's nay. But yeah, like you said, a lot of fucking people were brought over, though.
Well, a ton were. I mean, because you remember the Nuremberg executions.
Well, the Nuremberg trials, yeah.
Or the trials, but then the executions following
They didn't call them the Nuremberg executions because as a guy going to that, you're like, well, that doesn't sound like I have much of a chance. So that's
But I mean, that's like the famous quote unquote where we.
But they didn't execute everyone at the Nuremberg trial.
No,
so.
of course not. But there was only 10.
Yeah.
There were only 10 of them. So it's like there's so many more Nazis. There were like 8 million Nazis. Like,
Yeah.
we gotta execute more than just 10 of these fuckers.
Well, there was a core group of Nazis that, planned the entire thing. And a lot of them did get away.
Yeah, they did.
What was it? Himmler, who was the architect of the final solution, which was the plan to kill all Jews. He escaped, was never found.
Himmler?
Himmler, yeah.
Oh, he really did escape.
He was the number one Nazi to escape, yeah. Him, Joseph Mengele, the Angel of Death.
The Angel of
He
Death.
escaped.
What about Goebbels?
Did Goebbels escape? I think they got Goebbels.
Yeah, I think they
Goebbels,
did
who was
too.
head of the propaganda and whatnot, who was number 2 to like Hitler. But yeah, I mean, a lot of these fucking bastards escape. So if we can't get them in real life, I guess it's kind of nice to get them in a fictional sense. There's some kind of, I don't know, but that's what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
In the show, they're
hunting Nazis. But what's cool about this and how it sets it up is it kind of gives off that comic book vibe.
Yeah, it's like I said, it was a lot different where I thought it was going to be just like more of a straight up drama. Mm-hmm. It's like a dark comedy, almost fantasy. Like they're definitely living in like an alternative reality or whatever, where these Nazis, not only did we bring these Nazis back, but now they're playing like a huge role in like the government, and they're fucking everywhere. There's entire towns.
There's like a
of
shadow organization too, where they're trying to pay off Congress people.
Exactly, and they're sending like hidden messages throughout like the radio and whatnot. And there's people super hype, and there's like entire neighborhood. I love like I think it's episode 5 where they do like the commercial of the city, and like they're all farmers, but they all have German accents and stuff, and they're like, come on down. But yeah, that's what America's all about, no matter what your past is, it's the land of opportunity.
It is the land of opportunity.
We don't care if you killed fucking 3 million Jews. Can you get us to the moon? Can you get us to the moon?
That unfortunately was the way they were looking at this whole situation back then.
It's because at the point of that end of the World War II, Germany wasn't our enemy now. Now it was Russia. So now we have to win that war. Now we'll take these fucking Nazis, even though so it's crazy.
It is crazy, isn't it? It's wild.
Yeah. It is wild. But should we jump into it?
Yeah, let's jump into the opening scene.
Yeah, we're going to do the first 5 episodes for just this one. Episode 1 is titled In the Belly of the Whale. And we get opening scene. It's June 1977.
Oh, it's a nice day.
Oh, it's a beautiful.
Having a barbecue in your backyard.
It's barbecue season. No doubt about that.
You got a few guests over.
Oh, yeah.
Your kids are swimming in the pool.
Oh, little Joey and Judy and whatever they fucking named kids in the 19th.
Biff Jr. Biff Jr. Now you quit messing with your sister.
Biff, you get out of there.
Get out of there.
Yeah, so it's cool, man.
It is. Everyone's having a good time.
It's a good time. And especially if 20 years ago you were fucking living in a camp killing Jews.
Yes.
Now this is big. You didn't think you were coming out of that, that's for sure. But yeah, so they're having this guy, Biff Simpson. He's the Secretary of State. He's the one throwing the barbecue. And he's played by Dylan Baker, who I was just talking about, always plays a fucking creep.
He does a great job, always.
But he's having a barbecue, and one of his guests recognizes him, which is usually not a bad thing.
It's like one of his under guys working. He brings his girlfriend over.
Yeah.
And she recognizes him.
Yeah.
She calls him the butcher.
Again, not a bad thing to get recognized. Unless you have a sticky past.
You could call this a sticky past.
Yeah, where you, so he doesn't want to get recognized in this sense.
No, he does not.
And, she yells, she immediately, and it's a good opening scene.
It is.
Because she did it where she's just fucking stunned, But,
and she even brings back her Polish accent, too.
Yeah, and you see the Star David on her, which immediately gave it, because I didn't know what the fuck. No one knows what's going on at the start of this.
No.
She starts freaking out, and you're thinking maybe, because again, we don't know what kind of show this is either.
No, neither did I. I was wondering why she was freaking out. I was like, what the
hell?
And
I was thinking, what the fuck is he going to do here? I'm like, if this was real life, maybe he would just deny it.
Yeah.
Not the case.
Not the case.
It's not the German mentality.
As soon as she kept pointing and screaming, Nazi, Nazi, the butcher.
And I like how he like tried to like change the subject. He
It's like, well, by golly, I think it's time y'all should leave.
Come on, sit on down and grab yourself a dog. And then America's just like freaking out. And he's like just trying to be like, yeah, have you met? And he's like,
yeah, he's telling the motorboat scene in the beginning.
yeah. And then at one point he's like, well, now you're making a scene. Now
And then
this
he
is
gets
getting
angry.
wild. Yeah.
It's like that.
I'm going to have to ask
cartoon
you to
angry.
leave. Yeah. It's the fucking white guy. Bro, I'm going to have to kindly ask you to leave.
Well, by golly, in my own backyard.
And, yeah, so she's still freaking out. And she's obviously not going to let this go. She thinks this guy was a fucking head up at the Auschwitz or what does she
At a
say?
concentration camp. She
Yeah.
calls him the butcher. I don't remember what. Something the butcher.
Yeah, but she accuses him of just killing her entire family. Yeah.
In front of her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just dark.
And he says, well, enough of this bullshit. This has gone on too long. Now you're making a scene. You embarrass me in front of the neighbors. I got to do something about that.
Sure enough, he's got a nice little gun
Just
under
in
the
case.
cooler.
Just in case.
No one's ever none of the kids just
Yeah,
curious.
Daddy, why are you bringing the silencer out always whenever we have a barbecue? Is it needed?
Look, son, it's United States of America.
This is
I
US of
have
A.
my rights.
Yeah.
It is my right to have this firearm.
And to have this silencer.
Yeah.
But, so he whips that out and just starts. He kills 10 people
10
here?
people, and he shoots all 3 of his children in the pool.
And he shoots
And his
the
wife.
neighbors.
And and the neighbors as well, too. I really enjoyed that, though, when he does pull out the gun and point, because you think he's going to shoot the Polish woman first, and he shoots his wife first.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when you know, oh, my God, he's going to kill everyone.
That's also when you know he's been thinking about shooting plugging his wife for a long time.
right. If you kill your wife that easily, then, yeah, you've been thinking
And
about
first,
it a while.
there was 9 other people there. He could have shot anyone else.
And I love how he shoots everyone, right? And then he was like, I've been wanting to break their little necks for a long time.
That
His
was
3
hilarious,
children. He's like those little American swines.
Then we start to learn what's going on. He slips back in that old
German
old
accent.
fatherland accent, and that's immediately.
It's a red flag.
It's just
in the
scary.
70s.
It's unfortunate that the German accent has
Has
been so
got
closely
to that,
established
yeah.
to Nazis.
It is
Because as soon
sad.
as you hear a German, I almost said, what the
Start
fuck is
looking
going
around
on?
a
Yeah,
little bit, hey,
you got to
what-
think. Because they always sound evil, unfortunately. Yeah. Hans Gruber did that from
Die Hard.
Die Hard,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
But so he plugs everyone, kills everyone, and he gives a little monologue saying, the Nazis aren't gone. They're fucking here. We're here, and we're here to stay.
Yeah.
What does he say? He says, we are here now. We are everywhere. And he adds that the Jews did not survive. They're simply marinating. Very scary German monologue there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Sticky situation for that guy because he killed his entire family and his neighbors.
Everyone's dead.
Everyone's
And you
dead
got to answer
with
to
a
this.
single shot.
But luckily, this was a time where a lot of political figures were getting assassinated, so it was actually pretty good cover.
But not their entire goddamn. It's not a massacre. This would be the biggest story ever.
It would
This
be.
would be
Even
big.
in the 70s.
Even
Yeah, it would
this-
be a giant story.
9 people died. Because remember his excuse for it was a break-in. Remember? He says blame it on a black guy. He says you can get away with anything.
That is true. He did.
1977.
You could, sadly.
This guy was right on. So we get that a new guy enters the frame. Travis.
Travis.
Travis, the
Played by Greg
guy,
Austin.
he's a cleanup guy. So he comes to the Secretary of State or whatever, shoots him in the arm to make it look like it was a burglary. Which
Hell of a burglary. This guy's got a
that
great
guy
shot.
pinpoint and not a single sound. Neighbors everywhere,
No, and not a single missed shot either.
except for the main guy who
Yeah,
only
of
got shot in the
course.
arm.
Imagine that.
But he is
Some elements of this are very like comic booky, cartoonish, but it keeps you grounded because like it tells you that right away.
and
You know what
it
I
makes
mean?
sense.
It's part of the fun.
And it kind of draws in that he's also a high up politician, which we know now politicians get away with everything. They've always had. So it's not too out of the
Far
realm
stretched.
of possibility that he
No.
could get away with something like this. That and he has like Nazis throughout the government that are protecting him. So then we get to Brooklyn. We get introduced to Jonah Heidelberg, played by Logan Lerman, and he's just a nerd, 16 years old, Jewish kid, selling weed, selling a little
trying to make a living,
selling little amphetamines. We all did it. Nothing wrong with that.
He's trying to take care of his nana.
It's
too,
the 70s
remember?
too, a very dark time in U.S. A lot of serial killers were around, and a lot of drugs. Yeah, he's just trying to take care of his nana. And what
trying
are they
to pay the bills?
And what are they going to see in 1977?
Star
The
Wars.
only movies that played that year.
There was Star Wars year long.
Yeah, there's only So of course he's going with all his friends, and I don't know how important it is, but he gets beat up by a girl he likes, her boyfriend. This guy beats the shit out of him, says some racist shit, as bullies do. This guy's a real biff.
Do. Yeah, he is definitely a biff.
But and it was weird because the guy was selling him drugs. You don't beat up your drug dealer. It's not
it's not smart.
Now
it's
you
not
don't
a
have
wise
any
plan.
drugs.
Yeah. Where are you going to get your drugs?
But yeah, so this guy, he beats up Logan, or is his name's not Logan?
No,
it's
Jonah. Jonah. Yeah.
He beats up Jonah, and Jonah goes home and talks to his nana, who's an older Jewish woman. Who's it's just her and Jonah.
Yep.
But later that night, something crazy happens to old Nan.
Someone breaks in and says something to him weird. Said something to her weird that would be indication that they know him.
Says, "You can't hide," in very German.
Very German.
But it doesn't look like a break-in. I mean, it doesn't look like a burglary gone wrong is what they're trying to spin it as. It looks like that guy came in specifically
and then left.
to shoot his Nana. Yeah, and left, didn't take anything. So the next day, the funeral's going on. He's sitting Shiva for his grandma, and Jonah's approach, and this is the first taste we get of old Al.
Pacino, yeah.
He comes in. He pretty much just tells him a little words of advice. He doesn't say straight up, "Hey, I'm hunting Nazis. Join up if you're
squad,
in."
Yeah.
Which I like that they didn't do that. I like that.
Same.
Because obviously it's a
realistic.
funeral. Yeah. I mean, tell him the day after, but don't tell him now. But he pretty much just says that if he needs anything to reach out to him, and that he was also in the concentration camps because by the tattoo, by the tattoo that they all have.
And his grandma and Myers, Al Pacino, were in the same concentration camp.
Yeah, Meyer Offerman is Al Pacino's character. Yep. Yeah, they're in the same. Which I don't know if they ever say it, but I'm assuming it's Auschwitz. There's many concentration camps, but
of course,
I'm assuming there was Auschwitz.
Yeah.
But
no, at one point there was a sign that said Auschwitz. Remember when they got off the carts?
Yeah.
Or the train carts, right?
Yeah, that makes sense because it was the biggest of them. But going through his grandma's Ruth or his nana's Ruth stuff, because he's suspicious about this. He doesn't believe that it was a break-in. He's the only one.
Personal.
Yeah. But he finds a secret box belonging to to Ruth that contains a note reading, "I saw his scar. I believe without a doubt it is him," which kind of shows that Nana was doing some work behind the scenes, her own kind of work.
Yep. And it also shows that red balloon sticker and the golden knife.
The golden knife.
Yeah. Which we find out later what she was referring to.
Yes. Yeah, we do.
Because I forget the German's name, but he was like a chess player.
Yeah, it was the toy shop owner.
The toy shop owner.
She cut his throat into an X somehow.
He did before the guy was slaughtered. The guy who never lost a chess game.
Yeah. It's pretty fucking impressive.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of rigged if you're playing against other Jewish inmates that don't really want to piss you off. But yeah, so he finds the letter. He finds... and then we get into flashbacks, right? Because it goes back and forth to Ruth in the concentration camp. It constantly throughout the series goes back and forth to just how shitty everything was, and kind of their escape, and how his grandma Ruth, that he doesn't know anything about because she never talked about the camps or anything like that. She was a badass. Not even that, but she was hunting Nazis,
which is a pretty badass thing to do.
Fuck yeah, especially if it's your grandma.
Big. Gam?
Yeah, I thought you baked cookies.
I didn't know you were
I baked
Nazis' throats. Yeah.
But yeah, so we get that. We get our first flashback, and then we get to Cape Canaveral in Florida, and that's where the Project Paperclip all comes into. And they never say it,
with
but
NASA and everything else.
But yeah, this old NASA chemist, Gretel Fisher,
Fisher.
She was in her own apartment, and she got gassed.
She got gassed in her own shower.
In the showers.
Mm-hmm. Someone fixed the plumbing.
Yeah.
They made it a very prominent point when the plumber was walking out of the house. It was an Asian man, and it made sure to show that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was the guy who did it. It must have been someone else.
No, it was the guy. It was the guy that's in the group with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she was a Nazi and they killed her in the showers. You know, it's very, it's right on the nose, actually.
It is.
But so she dies, and it shows. You gotta love Amazon because it can show nudity. The only fucking nudity in this, it shows this old Nazi
lady.
women.
Yeah. You know, I appreciated it. She got some confidence. She was rocking it.
It showed her for like 5 minutes. It was a long goddamn scene.
It was a very long scene.
She was completely fucking naked, full frontal.
She got gassed, too.
She did. And that's poetic in its own sense.
It is. Poetic justice is what they say.
Gotta love that. Well, first seeing her, I thought she was Jewish.
So did I.
Right?
And then I was like, man, this is fucked.
Yeah,
I'm like, good about this.
No,
and then I realized, it was Nazi Hunter. She was a Nazi.
It made
it's okay.
Yeah. It ends up making more sense because it doesn't tell you that. But once you start seeing, like, she has old pictures of her
shaking hands with Hitler and stuff like that.
That doesn't get more right.
It doesn't get more Third Reich than shaking hands with
I understand
Hitler.
if you're Nazi, you'll save maybe like a pendant. Something that if they did take you could say, I found that. My grandpa gave it to me or something. Mm-hmm. But you shaking hands with Hitler, you can't undo
There's
that. No excuse.
There's no Photoshop to justify.
You can't be like, he just walked in one day. Like, I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
But she ends up dying.
She does.
And that's one Nazi down.
Yep. Many more to go.
And the world's better
the
for her,
world's
in
a
my
better
opinion.
place. Yeah. One Nazi down at a time.
Although the NASA is going back a step in in their progress because now they have one less scientist.
Right.
Which is a problem when you have Nazi scientists. Yeah. So that keeps going. She's dead. One Nazi dead. And now we get to the police station. We're introduced to... I guess the cops just talk to Jonah and say...
And I love that scene, too, when he's sitting there, because we'll kind of just skim over a lot of this in episode 1. But, Jonah eventually goes, because the police departments are not doing anything. They're not really trying to find who murdered his grandma.
No.
So
in the 70s, you couldn't.
No.
There's not enough fucking cops
to
investigate every fucking murder. Yeah, you couldn't.
So he takes it into his own hands. He starts selling the marijuana that he's growing to the biker gang. And at this point, he's caught by the police. So he's now in the station. The detective working with him knows why he did it, knew he wasn't trying to sell it. He was trying to trade it to find the killer of his grandma.
Yeah. And we got to say Jonah.
I love that scene, though, that one scene in there where he's like, you guys call yourself detective work. He goes, that's funny, detective work. He goes, that's bus route F-35. That's whoever is following the rapist and killing the women.
Exactly, because Jonah's kind of like a genius.
He is.
Like a savant in some way, where he's like
he's a code breaker.
He's a code breaker, just a natural code breaker. Some people are born with it.
They are. Some people are born with that skill.
It tells you, it establishes that early, and he solves a serial rape case in like 30 seconds. Yeah, it's pretty fast. You think a cop would be like, get this guy on the fucking force? We've been finding this guy for years. Yeah. But so he's kind of a genius. But the cops are useless in this. Yep. They're not doing anything. That's the main part. So he's got to take matters into his own hands. He ends up finding out who this old guy was that killed his grandmas.
He does, because he took that picture from Al Pacino.
Yep.
Offerman, whatever, Myers Offerman, and he put 2 and 2 together with the red balloon.
Yes.
And he went through the phone book and found the toy store with the red balloon.
And he found out that it was owned by Heinz Richter.
Which is the most German Nazi name of all time. Heinz Richter.
Change that shit if you're gonna.
I know.
Heinz. Oh, Heinz. Yeah.
Oh, Heinz. Yeah. And in 77, this guy's definitely a Nazi with that name. Goodness.
So he goes and he tries to accost the store owner, and he's an old man. He's fragile, he's playing that old bit. He's Harvey Weinstein in that.
He is definitely.
He's got
Harvey
the walker out. I can't.
Can barely move.
Yeah, I didn't kill millions of Jews. Yeah. I can barely walk. How could I do that? But he ends up Hines ends up getting the upper hand because Jonah doesn't know what he's capable of. Obviously,
He's got a taser hiding.
Yeah, because Nazis are always
always hiding weapons everywhere in stores, which is so funny because it's a toy store. So what if one of the children would have found that
But
thing?
again, it's the kind of thing where these guys in real life, when they did get away, they had to live in constant fear.
Yeah.
Because everyone they ran into, they had to think in the back of the head, oh, this guy might be he might be someone trying to hunt me.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that part. So it makes sense to me that they would the gun under the cooler. Maybe that was just like too on the nose. Like he obviously knew something was happening here. But yeah, so he tases him, and then old Hines, gets to what those Nazis did, and that's torturing Jews. He starts torturing Jonah, starts throwing darts in him, which I thought was kind of cool.
It was a cool scene.
That's a kind of cool torture method. But eventually, Jonah gets out of it, though.
He does.
He sees the scar, though, first.
Because, and someone was knocking on the door, so Heinz Richter went and was like, we're closed.
Yeah.
Get your toy later.
Yeah, he does. And
I don't know why I went Fargo there.
No, Wisconsin.
I'm not much of a German accent,
But, so he gets the other hand because Jonah is saved by Meyer.
Mm-hmm.
He's always coming to the fucking rescue. He stabs the man through the neck.
Which is also poetic justice because this is the same chess guy who, before the Jewish man died getting slayed by Heinz Richter, he cut him twice in the neck.
Yes, this guy's thing, which it's a little far-fetched, but this guy's thing was he made it was like the Harry Potter chess thing where you got to play as the players. That was the kind of thing that he did, but he did with Jewish people. So whenever you took a pawn or something, he would have the Jewish people
kill
go stabby on them, and it's brutal.
And obviously, some of this is probably exaggerated. It's fiction,
these things
but
are
it's
all,
supposed to just show hey, we all know that the Nazis are evil.
Yeah,
it was an evil thing. So let's go with
you said, this is more of a comic book,
correct?
Evil guy,
yeah,
because. And that was one of the biggest complaints I heard about this show was that those things were exaggerated.
Well, the biggest thing, the Auschwitz Memorial came out and even made a statement about this show.
Yeah, but the thing, having a human chessboard, it's elaborate. But what the real things that they were doing to these Jews, it's much, much fucking darker.
Of course, yeah.
And so I don't know how you say they're over-exaggerating that. Yeah, the chessboard thing it didn't happen. But it's a lot. That's bad, but it's not as bad as what was really going on. Them fucking attaching twins to each other to make Siamese twins.
Yeah, the scientist, what they would do.
And dipping people into hypothermia and making them freeze to death, and then keep doing it over and over again.
Body parts, so their bladders would erupt. And
showing,
in their bodies.
the horrible experiments that are not nearly as, I don't want to say fun, but not nearly as pleasant as some guy playing a giant chessboard game. That's more of a Bond villain type of thing.
I do want to read the Auschwitz Memorial tweet though that they sent out in regards to this, and quote, Auschwitz was full of horrible pain and suffering documented in the accounts of survivors. Inventing a fake game of human chess for hunters on Amazon Prime is not only dangerous foolishness and caricature, it also welcomes future deniers. We honor the victims by preserving factual accuracy.
And that's the biggest thing they're worried about is this giant fucking group of people.
Of deniers. But no one, it'll never be a giant group of people who deny that. There's a plethora of evidence to suggest that the Nazis did all this. Obviously, you have millions of survivors and witnesses telling you this.
You still have first, but there is
you still have firsthand knowledge.
There's a big group, just like a big group of people that say the Earth is flat. There's a big group that deny that the Germans ever, which at that point with people like that, you gotta wipe your hands clean of them and say, these people hold no position in my life whatsoever. Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about their opinion because they're wrong.
But ideas like that are growing, and it sucks.
It's stupid.
Yeah,
especially with all the information we have today.
Especially when
it's inexcusable.
Especially when you can go to Auschwitz today.
Correct.
And you can see a giant pile of shoes and clothes and teeth that they tore out of these fucking
God.
Of these Jews. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy that people deny it. It makes me sick, honestly. It's the worst type of people.
It
People
is.
that like and the same people that say like the Sandy Hook shooting never happened and all stuff like that. It's just, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get why. All right, so it ends with Myers telling Jonah that this is it's not revenge, but it's justice. And he tells him that this isn't murder. This is I think he calls it mitzvah. He says this is what's right, and he kind of tells him what he does.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Nazi hunter.
Yes.
And he admits to Jonah that Tellman, the guy, was wrong. And he said, you know what the best revenge is? Revenge.
It is.
He's not wrong, I guess. It makes sense. So that's how episode 2 ends.
No, 1.
That's how episode 1 ends, yeah.
We're still on 1.
Yeah. Then we get to episode 2, The Mourners of Kaddish. And this is when... Episode 2 is when, it's the Jewish resilience, even in the face of Nazi monstrosity, illustrated by the concentration camp flashback. We get more
yes.
flashbacks, yeah.
And this was the opening scene where the band was playing the, what is it called? The famous dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
I can't remember what it's
Yeah.
called.
Well, anyway, and then
I'm
the
not
Nazis,
Jewish.
Yeah, that's true. The Hava Nung.
Yeah, Hava Nagila.
Yeah, Nagila.
Hava Nagila, yeah.
But anyway, they start playing that, and they all get shot by the Nazi officer. And that's how this.
Gets a
this one
flashback back
opens
to
up.
Auschwitz because they're singing and they're, because this guy loves music.
Yes.
Loves music or whatever one of these Nazis, and like they're singing and he just shoots them all. It's kind of a rebellion thing, but it doesn't move. Or that, I don't know. It was just to show that they still had faith in the Jewish community, I guess, but it didn't work out for them.
It didn't. No.
They all died.
Sometimes, yeah, but that's the same as like a one of those Buddhists lighting themselves on fire,
Absolutely, yeah.
or a monk rather, not a Buddhist, a monk.
Yeah, well, they were Buddhist monks.
Right. But I mean, more specifically, they're called monks, not Buddhists.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
But yes, but in the toy shop owner's shit, they find another a message or a code that Jonah quickly deciphers, and it's a code from Carl Holstetter. This is the music man.
Yes.
This is the guy who loved fucking music. Yeah, they find his a code, and they somehow decipher it and find out where this guy is, where Carl Holstetter is, and they find out that he is
Actually, a pretty famous music producer.
Yeah. And this is where he gets, Jonah gets kind of introduced to the rest of the Nazi hunters. It's got a wide range of cast of characters.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Ted from How I Met Your Mother is one of the Nazi hunters. It's got the two Jewish couple that I like a lot. I can't remember their names.
Yeah, the old
in it.
ones.
I like
Yeah,
them, those
they're
guys
awesome.
a lot, yeah. But yeah, so they get introduced to the team, and they immediately hate Jonah because he's like 15, you know. You don't want to, this kid's going to fuck everything up.
Yeah. Murray and Mindy Markowitz.
Yeah. Yeah, and Murray, he's atheist. He's like the only one of them that doesn't believe in God or anything, and he comes into play. And a Vietnam vet, Joe Torrance, who's a badass. That's the Asian guy who we're guessing killed
the first Nazi.
Yeah. Also good plumbing work.
Great plumbing work.
It's not easy. I don't even know how you would put gas into a
I don't know. And then make sure that the doors are
all
locked.
in an afternoon.
Yeah, it's a lot. Especially in the 70s, too. It's good work. It's hard work.
Absolutely, yeah. And lastly, Meyer introduces them to the nun. She's always dressed up like a nun.
Yeah.
She's crazy, too.
She is crazy.
Yeah. And they're trying to investigate something called the Ark or whatever. And the Ark documents reveal that Holstetter is known as the Pied Piper, and he's playing this song throughout radio or whatever for people to listen
Very
to.
creepy, like children nursery rhymes thing.
Yeah.
Because long story short, they go into the music and they shoot. You know, they shoot a couple rounds, and they see that through the wallpaper that this is like a secret studio.
Yeah, because they just want to know information, so they torture him. They torture him by playing the music very loud and bursting his eardrums or whatnot. And again,
And then Myers tries to help him.
Yeah,
And then,
Of course,
yeah,
and
of
it's gonna
course.
happen. That's one fucking trope that I'm like, God, this guy's a Nazi.
I know,
dude.
like, why? Why give him a glass of water? Fuck this guy, man.
I know.
Just kill him.
So once again, he underestimates the Nazi. The Nazi ends up taking control of Jonah again. But
Fool me once.
yeah.
Fool me twice.
Well, this forces Joe Torrance, the Vietnam vet, to
Right.
pop the fucking Pied Piper.
Right in his head.
So you get no information out of him.
Nope.
Which is the entire thing they were torturing for. So he really died for nothing. But that Nazi was a big piece of shit too.
He was.
But he made people sing like this American Idol style contest, and if you didn't like hit the note,
That's right. He would shoot you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
that was
remember?
another
Yeah.
flashback too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yep. So they eventually Hallstetter kill Hallstetter, and they grab like the tapes or whatever they can grab because they got to get the fuck out of there. So they bounce back out of there. But they come back for some reason, don't they? Because they come back and find that someone is cleaning the
Yeah, they cleaned out the whole thing. Cleans it up perfectly too.
to make it look like he was never there or whatever. All right, so moving on a flight to Cape Canaveral, Travis, the Nazi, the boy Nazi who's going around cleaning them all. He's going to Cape Canaveral to I guess investigate the lady that died. Yeah, he's not pleasant. He's not a pleasant guy to be around.
I know that scene on the plane too
I like
was
that
so
scene a lot,
funny.
too,
The
yeah.
peanut allergies.
Yeah,
But it's also like what the Nazis actually believed.
oh yeah,
You know, it was what was it called? Euthogenics or whatever.
yeah. Eugenics. A lot of
Eugenics,
Americans
yeah.
believed in eugenics. That was not a Nazi, just a Nazi thing. But yeah, and that's another thing that happened to Auschwitz is they made it so none of those people could have kids,
Mhm.
you know, against their will or whatever. But yeah, so he goes to Cape Canaveral, and whose family does he type up? Does he find? I was confused at who family, the black family that he ties up.
That was the police detective who was doing detective work on the Nazi who died.
Yeah, but it's never brought up again in later episodes. Their family was all tied up and murdered.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
it never was. You're right.
Maybe I'm guessing maybe she just didn't get the information yet, but it's been a while.
It has been a while.
So yeah, he goes up there and he finds out that there's a detective investigating, but she's not investigating Nazis. She's investigating these people killing people. She doesn't know that they're Nazis or Jewish or anything. So really, she's investigating the good guys though.
Right.
And to the Germans, they're like, "Oh, let her fucking do it. This is fine. Don't kill anyone else, you psycho." God damn. Because this guy is a little trigger happy.
He's very trigger happy. Just
Well,
trying to move up in the world.
He wants to show it. Yeah, exactly. He wants to show how committed he
How
is.
loyal he is.
I like that scene where he's at the laundry mat or whatever, cleaning his clothes. And he's got the fucking Nazi, the swastika tattoo on his back.
shoulder,
He's not
yeah.
even. This is one Nazi that's not hiding it.
No, he's not. When there was the black girl doing it too, and she kept looking over at him, you could tell she was scared.
Oh,
She
yeah.
saw that tattoo.
Fuck. Yeah. I'm
It
scared
would
if I
just
see a
go-
Nazi tattoo.
Well, yeah, but imagine being alone in the middle of the night, just you and him.
Yeah, and you're
It's
not white.
terrifying.
That's
Right,
the problem. If you're a white guy, he'd be like, "This guy's all right."
Yeah. There's something
don't know.
about you. I don't know what it is.
I
but
can't put my
like
finger
you.
on it. But you're gonna be all right.
You're gonna be all- Life's gonna treat you.
I think you're gonna be just fine. But all right. So following that, Jonah kind of wants out at this point.
Yes.
He's kind of sick of torturing people. He goes to Coney Island. We get it's a fantasy. It's a musical number. And
Mhm.
Americans, they all sing because he's high and whatnot. It's a good scene, but yeah. So they do that.
And that was actually really funny too, because it just jumped into a musical.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I mean?
again, I'm
the
like,
dancing and everything. I'm like, what the fuck?
Did
This
not-
is so weird. But it worked. It's still funny because it's like, I don't know. It's very comic book to me.
oh yeah,
It's
absolutely.
Very,
Oh yeah. So he does that, and because again, Joe's bullet ended up killing the fucking the radio. So as soon as the radio shuts off, now the Nazis know something's on, because I think that plays 24 hours
It does,
constantly, because
yeah.
it's constantly giving them like well, we find out it's giving them coordinates or something, isn't it?
yeah, coordinates.
Coordinates and dates is what it is, but yeah, so they get out of that. Hostetter is killed. We already went through that. And what does anything else happen in episode 2? I can't remember. I know Biff is trying to do fucking Biff, the secretary, is trying to get ahead or something because now the Nazis are like leaving him out of his plans, and so he's bitter.
And I think the only other thing in this episode is like the Jonah thing, the ringing in the ears, because the Nazi told him you would have constant ringing in your ears.
Yeah.
Once you go down this path, and then Jonah did have those ringing in his ears.
Yeah, and that was the whole thing. Is that the Nazi was like, "That's why I made them sing, because I had ringing in my ears, because I killed so many Jews." Yeah, you're gonna have ringing in your ears, I guess. Yeah, and Jonah, he can't wash that blood off his hands.
No, he cannot.
Yeah, but yeah, and then it shows us in separate homes. Germans are writing down the lullaby and writing down one of the coordinates there. It's not just a song, but that's what they think it is. All right, that is episode 2.
It is.
Let's jump into episode 3, While Visions of Safta Danced in His Head. So Jonah, he's reading one of his grandma's letters, right? Episode 3, Wild Dances. Oh, this is when they discover the code in the
Pied Piper's broadcast.
Yeah, they discover that it's a suggesting, or it's a code that's it's events that are happening. So it's like in the past, the Watergate scandal happening, the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy. So now we're supposed to believe that Nazis are behind all this shit.
July 13th, 1977 was the date that they found, too.
Yeah,
from that radio broadcast.
Because every other date already happened, right? And that was the only date that was happening in the future. So July 13th, that's a big Nazi plot.
Yeah, it is.
But, yeah, so they discover that with the help of fucking Jonah because they couldn't discover it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So while and we didn't talk about Lonnie Flash either. He was one. That's Ted. That's the guy from How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, okay.
Remember
yeah.
he was because in this he's like an old actor or something like that.
Oh yeah, the old actor. Yeah. He's like a Tony Award-winning actor.
Yeah, that's
in mind.
That's later, yeah. But so we get more flashback, and it's his grandma at Auschwitz. She's undergoing. She's when she first gets into Auschwitz, and she finds a tattooer, and they like kind of fall in love.
Which ends up being Myers Offerman, which is Al Pacino's character.
Yeah, that's the first time that they ever met, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he was tattooing her.
Yep.
So they kind of is that him?
Yeah, it is.
I thought that was the guy that got shot later on.
Oh, it is. You're right.
Yeah,
when they're
Myers and Ruth
on.
never fell in love.
Yeah.
They were in the camp together.
You are right.
Because the only reason that he knew of her is because everyone knew of her in the camps. Because remember when she stood up to the Nazi?
Yep.
Because at one point it does a flashback and a Nazi puts a gun to her head and she moves forward towards it, and that like just scared the shit out of the Nazi. And he's like,
maybe I won't.
Yeah, I don't know why it had like a change of heart, I guess.
It's like, well, this, yeah.
But that was an important moment because that got the eye of another Nazi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
which is the scientist.
Exactly. Yeah. So now they're watching Holstetter's house to see if the Nazis are going to come back or whatever to clean up this when it happens, and Lonnie Flash says he saw someone inside the house. So they run into the house, and this is when they see that it's being cleaned up or whatever. And the lady, one of the Nazi hunters, gets in a fight, and she ends up killing, I guess she's like a Nazi maid or something. The lady that she ended up killing inside the house that was cleaning up.
You mean the one that they fed shit to?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, remember they go inside. They go there because they're watching Holstetter's house after they kill him to make sure nothing.
Right.
And then he sees someone inside, and they go inside, and the woman gets locked in the room with the other woman. They get into a fight or whatever. Remember they tried to shoot into the room, and it's bulletproof though.
Right.
Yeah, I guess she was just like a Nazi maid or something.
So, yeah.
She could fight though.
She could.
But yeah. So past this, so they kill the female Nazi, and then Jonah visits Levi Libstein, which is a Jewish, one of his grandmother's friends and lawyer. And what does Levi give him?
He gives him he gives him like a $600 check from the German government.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it's for all the shit.
$600. Yeah, for all the shit they went through. $600.
I mean, geez, dude, you get incarcerated, a wrongfully convicted incarceration. The government will pay you millions of dollars.
Oh,
the Germans put the Jewish people through atrocities, and only
it's still,
$600.
in my opinion, it's still never enough because like you'll get like it just happened. Some guy was in jail for like 30 years. They gave him $2 million. It's just not enough for me,
dude.
It's
not enough at all.
30 years.
30 years. That's your whole
And he went to jail
life.
when he was like 18. That's the most important. 18 to like 50 years old.
Yeah.
$2 million. I'm 60 now. What the fuck am
What am I
going
to do? I don't get a wife. I don't get children. I don't get any of that. And you're going to give me $2 million.
Not even that, but you're throwing into a world that you know nothing about. I mean,
and a lot of the times too, it's wrongly convicted rapes because they didn't have the technology back then.
That's what this guy almost always is.
And so imagine like everyone just hating you, thinking you're a rapist, evil piece of shit.
Yeah,
and you were innocent.
Your entire
for
life
30
is ruined.
years.
There's no monetary value you can put on that.
Oh God.
Not $600.
It really is awful. It's sure as hell not $600. No.
And he kind of says, what we were thinking. He says, "Okay, fuck that." I mean, what a way to go.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we move on from that, and again they end up finding or whatever. They end up finding the Nazi maid, and they kill her and whatnot. And then Meyer visits Jonah at his place of employment, which is he works at a comic book store with his friend, which ends up being kind of shitty.
It does, especially for one of his friends in the end.
But so Jonah, he's pretty much just pissed that they killed Holstetter, which why the fuck would you be mad that you killed a Nazi?
I love that one scene though with him and his buddy where he says that Jonah, his whole life, he's played Robin when really he was Batman.
Yeah, I like that too. There's a lot of comic book references.
There are a lot of
which makes you
comic
think that this is almost a comic book like a story or whatever.
I do kind of think of it as that in a lot of ways. This story, because it is very comic book-ish.
But this is when he goes and he takes some time and he gets high out of his fucking mind. Goes down to little Coney Island.
Oh, yeah.
Bacon and bird dog some chicks. Get stoned with your friends.
It's a good time.
Have a fucking musical dance sequence. That's when you know you're fucking high.
I mean, how many people can honestly say they did a full musical score, a dance routine and all, while being stoned?
Yeah.
Not too many people.
No, you can't. You really can't. So we get back to Millie, who's the officer that is investigating all this shit.
Yeah, the police officer.
Yeah. She is. She's going around and she's finding out that 11 people have been murdered, in kind of mysterious ways. While she's doing that, Travis, the Nazi, is following her around just to make sure, she doesn't.
She's staying.
Doesn't get too close to it, But yeah.
I know that one scene when he goes into the church and he's behind her while she's praying.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
That was creepy. Yeah.
That was a good scene, yeah. I thought for sure she was going to flip around.
I know. That was like the devil over your shoulder kind of thing, He's just creepily in the shadows.
Yeah. But
unsettling.
So she goes and she visits the crime scene where she finds out that Richter was killed by 2 assailants, and she locates Nazi memorabilia of a photo of this is where the photo of
Fisher comes into
yeah.
play. Greta
Yep.
Fisher.
Yeah, so Travis goes in posing as a cop. This guy can be fucking everywhere, dude. He's like the invisible man.
Yes. Might as well be at this rate.
Because
no one's asking any questions
so
in
deep
this department.
inside the police department.
No.
Like, I've never seen that guy before.
And no one thought
Like,
about
I've
that?
been working here 30 years. This guy.
Who is he? I mean, they all know each other by name, but no one's asking questions about this guy. I thought that was a little weird.
Yeah, but that's when they find out that she's just hunting the Jewish people, the people hunting the Nazis. She's on the wrong side of this.
She is.
Eventually, she's going to get pulled into the right
She
side
will.
because she is a good character or whatever. But she's getting closer or whatever to finding out where this all leads to. And something happens between Travis and fucking Biff.
Mm-hmm. And then the big part too with Jonah when he visits Murray and Mindy, And then they confess to that Meyer and Ruth had a complication relationship.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they tell Jonah that Ruth chose the darkness so you could have the light. So she kind of chose to hunt Nazis, so...
Yeah. And that she did love Myers, but it was a constant reminder of the camp.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the craziest thing is you go and then you survive with these people. Then every time you look at them, you're thinking
You think of the camp, the worst thing humanly possible.
Yeah, but you got to stick with the only people that stuck through the worst possible fucking moment in your life. But every time you look at them, it's a constant waking reminder of the worst period of your life. These people were haunted for forever, man. Yeah. Imagine being
the PTSD.
Imagine being a Nazi that survived. You got to look over your shoulder. Imagine being a Jew that survived, thinking, "Fuck, it could happen once. It could just as well as happen again quickly." But yeah, they find out that the Nazis were behind Robert F. Kennedy and the attempted suicide of Golda Meir, which I don't know who it is, but it's a real person, I think. And their next planned event will take place July 13th, 1977, just like we said, 2 weeks from now. And we could skip over the whole Biff and that lady that comes in and starts taking care of him or whatever. I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
But yeah, so Jonah catches up with Carol as they head to Babel Comics. Along the way, Jonah sees young... Oh, yeah, and it's just Jonah with that girl they liked, that her boyfriend beat the shit out of him. But Jonah is constantly seeing Ruth, like young Ruth.
Like weird, not flashbacks, but in weird, like hallucinations.
He's fucked up
hallucinations,
now. Yeah. So that was episode 3.
Now we're into 4.
Episode 4, The Pious Thieves. Again, I think every one almost starts back with a flashback now. Because this one is flashback in 1938. It's Berlin resident Jacob Schneider receives a family heirloom ring from his dying grandmother. This is the tattoo guy with Ruth.
Mm-hmm.
It shows that his grandma gave him a ring as they were all being rounded up to the camps. And this was the only possession he had. He did the old classic, swallow the ring, shit it out later.
Yeah, of course.
He ends up throwing it up later, which he would always shit it out.
Yeah, always.
It's classic.
It's easier, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
On you, on your body, on the system. Yeah.
But he also, it gets to that he has a plan to escape with Ruth.
Mm-hmm.
Him, Ruth, one other guy, because you got to have a driver. I was thinking maybe they should have took a couple of more people. That was a big truck that they had.
It was.
But I guess this guy was not risking the word getting out. But during this escape, Jacob is killed. Ruth's love. He is shot by the Nazis.
With the ring still in his hand.
The ring's still in his hand. He never, because he was right about to ask Ruth to marry. And he's like, we're going to have plenty of time.
Oh, of course. We got our whole lives.
Why do it now? We're going to have so much free time. It's going to be ridiculous.
And she was thinking, yeah, definitely. A lot of free time out
For
of this.
sure. Yeah, keep that. Whatever you're going to say seemed important. Keep it to yourself because we're going to get it
Tell
back
me later.
Yeah.
Coming back around to this.
It is sad, though, because he was killed. But Ruth did escape. She was the one. Her and Myers. I'm guessing Myers was the guy driving, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so her and Myers were the only two that actually escaped.
Yeah.
Which, not a crazy, complicated escape plan.
No, of course not.
Just dress up like a Nazi
Dress
and
up
walk
and
right
drive
up that
through.
gate.
Yeah, and they just opened the gate for him.
Yeah,
That
as long
was
as you're
odd.
Nazi, they're waving you through. You don't got no problems. The Americans should have fucking dressed up as
Tried
Nazis.
that. Yeah, come in.
Why didn't we ever think about that?
Damn it.
But yeah, so but the guard takes the ring because he finds it and he takes it. That's all he cares about. Those fucking Nazis.
And I love how they tied that whole thing together, because then that very same ring was in the bank vault.
Yeah, they end up finding out that there is a Swiss bank manager. Always Swiss.
It's always Swiss.
They love banks and they love
And they
hiding
love
your dirty money.
Yeah, they love hiding money.
They won't take your money unless you had to kill hundreds of people for it. They don't take... If you earned it, they don't want it.
Yeah. They're like, no, we're going to pass. This all clean money?
Do you have Nazi...
We don't want clean money.
Do you have any Nazi gold or jewelry you stole from
maybe
people?
some teeth? I don't know.
What can you do for us in the way of that? But yeah, they end up finding out that that this guy was a Nazi and he started or managing a bank. I guess he's just a manager. but they're
There's a secret underground vault that is literally just a giant hallway.
Yeah.
Full of like German art, German gold, like cups and stuff.
well, yeah,
And then
yeah.
all the
Everything they
stuff
stole.
of the
Everything they stole,
all
yeah.
the stuff of the Jewish people as well.
Yeah, so you have rings and fucking
Jewelry,
yeah, and all that
gold,
stuff.
all
Yeah,
that stuff.
yeah, but they think that this bank is like catering
To the
to
Nazis.
Nazis. Yeah, it's a Swiss bank, but it's in U.S. though.
I think so.
Yeah, because they go there
Yeah.
later. Yeah, which is weird. It's just a red flag in my
Yeah, of course it is.
a Swiss banker doing Swiss banking not in Switzerland. Connect the dots, my guys.
Yeah.
Connect the dots. That guy is a Nazi. But Myers ends up going and talking to the banker, right?
Mhm.
Or is this is episode 4 where he
Yeah,
goes and
it
talks
is.
to yeah.
Yep.
He goes and he talks to the banker, and the banker at first he's out trying to act all cool or whatever because he doesn't know that this guy is a Nazi hunter, obviously. But eventually, Meyer gets the upper hand on him. He stabs him or something. Yeah, he stabs him in the hand.
Yep. Stabs him right in the hand with a golden knife.
Yeah, and they kind of have a conversation about what he had to do to amass this fortune and whatnot. It eventually makes him makes the banker feel a little guilty.
He does.
Because I think it's the next episode right at the start, though, we get the banker ends up shooting himself
Yeah, he does.
out of guilt, I guess.
No, because remember, he told them, and he goes, if I tell you who gave it to me, gave
Oh.
me this, he'll kill me.
Because he shows them, because he throws down pictures of the bank vault.
Yeah.
Yeah, he shows them pictures. Like, oh, fuck, these guys got in my bank. Because we skipped that whole part, but they do a fake bank robbery just to get closer to the vault, right?
Mhm.
They're holding this bank up as a distraction just to get, just to see what's in this secret room. And at first, the room is nothing. It's just, what are those boxes called they have at banks? I can't remember what they're called. Safety deposit boxes.
Safety deposits, yeah.
But there's nothing in any of the boxes. So, like, what the fuck?
No, and that's what they're asking. Who has box 630?
Yes.
And he goes, if I tell you, he's going to kill me.
Yeah.
So that's why he just offed himself.
Yeah, it's easier that way. But box 30 had nothing in it. It ended up being not. Box 30
Empty.
ended up being the secret fucking
Portal.
giant underground like Nazi museum that they had.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, yeah, that's why he kills himself because he's gonna die no matter what or whatever.
Yep.
But so yeah, they have they rob the bank. They get, but the big thing is when they go down to the vault is Jonah sees the ring that he has no connection to.
Mhm.
He just feels it or something, right?
Yep.
Because he would not know about the ring or anything
No,
like
of
that.
course not. No, not in the story, or that would actually be the ring. What are the chances?
Oh, yeah. But he gives the ring to
Myers.
Myers, and Myers ends up showing the guy the ring. Because the guy's like, he can fake those pictures. Photoshop. But he's like, he can't fake this goddamn ring that I took out of there. And that's when the guy was like, oh, fuck.
I'm screwed. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's... they pretty much get out of there. They hold all the bank people hostage and whatnot. And when does the wolf come into play?
I think is that this episode?
That is this episode, yeah. The former doctor, they find out, or Ruth. Oh, this is the flashback. We find out that Ruth turned down the job from the wolf.
Oh,
Because
from
remember,
the
he
doctor.
comes in and
Yeah,
was like,
that's
you
right.
get a warm meal, because he was obsessed with this lady after he saw her stand up with her. You know, this real fucking...
And then
Freak.
that the wolf saw that her and Myers were friends, so he would torture Myers every chance he got.
That's it, yeah. That's the whole thing, yeah.
And then the wolf comes from that claw that he cut him with down his chest, which seemed fairly painful.
I assume it wasn't pleasant.
No.
Yeah. And that's why they call him the wolf.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy was a prick. I don't know what kind of doctor he was, because he didn't seem like he was doing
Not very
much
good.
doctor work.
No, it seems like a lot of torture work.
Yeah, and that was a good scene because she's like, "Is this a choice?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's a choice." He's like, "Okay, then no." Look, it wasn't a choice.
It wasn't a choice.
I'm gonna cut it clear for you. Not a choice, and now you're gonna regret you ever said no to me.
I'm gonna torture your friends.
Yeah,
I'm
he
gonna make
doesn't-
you miserable.
Doesn't torture her, but tortures old Myers, and that's why Myers is rightfully so kind of pissed.
Yeah, I would say so.
And he talks about it. He says the torture just went on and on. He said
on.
every time he thought it couldn't get worse or whatever. But I liked how he said he only screamed once.
Yep.
The
And then he
very
said, I
start-
would not give him the satisfaction again.
Which probably made the torturing a little worse.
Yeah, if you can't scream, if you can't let out
This
all
guy's
that
got to be thinking, I'm going to make this
angst.
guy scream. Now it's a kind of a game for this guy. But yeah, so all that shit happens, right?
Right.
They rob the bank. Biff convinces Secretary of Commerce to delay this trade bill that all the Nazis want. That was kind of a big deal. So now the Nazis are pissed at this guy. It's typical Nazis stabbing Nazis in the back. These
what they
bastards, you
do.
can't even trust them among
They can't
themselves.
even trust themselves. No.
Yeah.
They're all trying to move up in the world.
So now like the head Nazi gal or whatever, well, the entire time they're kind of dropping off the general. They keep saying that the general, which I don't know yet, but I'm thinking it's just a super high up general in the United States Army or whatever. That's a Nazi, but he's the one running everything.
He is.
Because remember Biff meets up with another lady. And he's like, I want to meet with the general, and she just kind of laughs at it like it's impossible. Which is pretty crazy because Biff has the ear of Jimmy Carter, the peanut farmer.
Yeah.
Oh, Carter. Not the president you want when you got Nazis in your
No,
country.
not at all. No, too nice of a guy. Too nice of a guy.
People standing, just stepping all
all
over him.
over you, and you still smiling and waving.
Just a good guy.
Yeah, a nice man.
That's proof
but,
that you
man,
can't be a good man and be president.
You can't. You cannot get the best of both worlds.
Literally, that guy gave up his farm because he thought it'd be a conflict of interest. He had the one thing he loved doing, he gave up. And now we have fucking presidents that they're making money while they're
Yeah, while they're running things.
That guy won a distance. He was making like $30K a year. It's like, I don't want to. This will be a bad look for me. Oh, the peanut farmer. That's hilarious. But yeah, so that's pretty much how it ends, right?
Yeah, that's the end of episode 4.
The conclusion is of Meyer and Hauser's conversation as the former shows the latter informer proof. He's showing the banker the proof.
Mm-hmm.
Banker says, oh shit, I gotta off myself.
And that's what he does.
And it's what Nazis are great at doing. They're great at killing other people and great at killing
themselves. Yeah. That is one thing they are well known for.
They're
Cyanide and gunshots.
Yeah, cyanide. Very proficient. That's how Eva Braun died of cyanide and Hitler died of a gunshot. Mm-hmm. He didn't want to take the cyanide.
No.
That shit's
it's painful. Super painful.
Extremely painful. But yeah, so we go, episode 5 is At Night, All Birds Are Black, 1976, Paraguay, Katrina Lowe wearing a doctor coat, inspecting remember this is weird.
A room full of children.
In 1976, this is Paraguay, so that's a Nazi outfit.
Yeah, of course. Everything.
They're about
there.
80% Nazi at that point.
They just take a room full of kids and they gas the children.
Yeah.
And then she's like smiling about it, like it's some big accomplishment.
Well, remember she sees one and they're like, all the kids are alive.
Uh-huh.
And she's pissed.
Yeah.
She's like, oh my God, damn, this shit's not working. Then she goes to another one. But I'm guessing they're like, I don't know, inventing like a new mustard gas or something, and that's the big plan. That's what's going to happen. That's my prediction. July 13th is going to be a big fucking
mustard gas session. Yeah, for sure.
Because that's but I don't know why they're like testing it. And I don't know why they're testing on poor Paraguayan children.
I know. Why were they the unfortunate ones of this bullshit?
Yeah. So we go back to 1977, present time, Harlem. Roxy leaves her daughter with her girl's father, Darnell. Who's Roxy?
The little girl. The black girl.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. She's leaving her daughter with the husband who's like an activist or something like that. And they don't like each other.
No, they don't.
Because she's like, you're trying to change the fucking world. I'm changing the world. I'm killing Nazis. So while this is happening, Jonah's got to get some training because he's a big pussy. Because every time he runs into a Nazi, the Nazi ends up beating the shit out of him.
Every single time.
And they're like
Without
80
fail.
years old at this point, Jonah.
It's embarrassing. Learn how to fight.
Yeah, so Jonah gets hooked up with Joe. And Joe is, again, a fucking badass. Because remember, Jonah keeps asking him, like, seriously, how many people you killed?
Mm-hmm.
Which, don't ask a soldier.
Don't do it. It's not a good idea.
Not a good idea.
They don't want to talk about it.
They don't want to bring it up. Yeah.
How
many guys he killed? How many guys he killed?
Yeah.
Jonah, take the hit. He doesn't want to talk about it.
I'm going to add one more to my list if you don't shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I know. This is crazy. And then we find out that he's got some serious PTSD.
He does. Because he was in Nam.
He was in Nam, absolutely, yeah. But yeah, so Jonah at least is training and whatnot, and this is when he talks about we jumped over, but this is when he starts talking about the torture and whatnot. So now they're tracking down the ghost, who apparently only has 9 fingers. Why do they know that again? I
don't remember.
It was something I can't remember. Like one of them cut it off or something like that. I can't remember why, but Myers sends Jonah, Joe, and Harriet, and this is one of my favorite. This 5th episode might be my favorite episode. But they go to Huntsville, which Huntsville ends up being just this Nazi haven. Everyone there is a fucking Nazi.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And they're going to the Ghost as top lieutenant. And the Ghost, I'm guessing, is the general that they keep talking about. But that's Dieter Ziegfeld, and he's living undercover, and he was just another Nazi doctor, wasn't he?
Yeah. That's
the blonde guy with the daughter. But yeah, he's living in Huntsville, down in the South or something like that. And and that the same time, Meyer and Ted from How I Met Your Mother, and who else? The lady, Millie, Millie's a detective. But they're going to interrogate the Ghost's girlfriend, the lady that was in charge of making propaganda videos for Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one they kept feeding shit to.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're going to that 4th of July party, too.
Yeah, that's the party in Huntsville.
Yeah.
So they're interrogating one guy.
They locked
Meyer
him up in
is
a barn.
interrogating the lady.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of interrogation going on.
There's a ton.
Right now. Yeah. And and at this point, Tobias orders Travis to carry out a delivery errand. Oh, what's going on here?
Camera just turned off.
Oh God, should we stop recording?
No. We'll just keep going. So go ahead. Just continue on.
Okay, so Travis is told to carry out a menial delivery, which he thinks is bullshit because, yeah, you can unplug that. He's going to carry it out, but he doesn't like the job because he thinks it's below him or something. He gets pissed that they tell him to go and just carry out this delivery or something like that.
Yeah.
But so he goes and does that. Meanwhile, Biff meets with the colonel and agrees to give Biff a meeting with the general. And that's the head guy, which I'm the superior. Maybe he's not the Ghost or whatever. But she agrees to do that just so Biff agrees to stop delaying the bill, the trade bill or whatever.
Yeah.
That
And they
all
keep
the
going
Nazis
back
want
and
for
forth
some
on
reason.
those bills, too.
I'm guessing it's to fucking start transporting the mustard gas
Oh, that
from
would make
Paraguay
sense. Yep.
into
the United States.
all legally because
course.
they can't do it illegally because everything's on the books now.
Nope.
So because they're all like real citizens or whatever. That's what I'm guessing. It doesn't reveal that yet, but yeah. So they go and they keep moving, and they end up tying up Dieter, one of the guys at the 4th of July party. He ends up telling them everything, just straight up. He doesn't want to die.
Wasn't a very good interrogator, and then was like justifying it to being a Nazi and just being, oh, it was just a part of it.
Yeah. He his thing was drowning Jews in salt water, which is a thing that they did.
That's the thing they actually did too.
Yeah,
Gross.
they did. Because they wanted to see the effects on soldiers, German soldiers, if they dropped into the ocean or whatever. Yep. So they just fucking drowned them in salt water. Like, that was telling them anything.
It's just wild.
It's just
the lack of care for
all of
human
it was
life.
just excuse to torture and kill people. Because everything they did, they said they did it because it was all like mustard gas. They wanted to see what the effects of mustard gas, hypothermia. They wanted to see what the effects of marching on Russia would have been to their soldiers or whatnot. So they got to do all that shit. They thought Russians had some kind of special DNA that made them stronger to the snow. So they thought, oh, we got to experiment on that. And they tortured a lot of Russians too that they captured. But But yeah, it was all shit. It was all just excuses or whatever. And that's the excuse that this guy's making or whatever. He's like, I got a daughter now. That was the 30 years ago. That was the war.
Well, tough luck.
It was orders. That's what they always say. Just following orders to drown fucking people in salt water.
Yeah,
if
that's
someone
not
gives you
following
that
orders.
order,
Yeah, then you can tell them to eat shit.
that's an odd order to give for sure. But yeah, so they're torturing him, and he gives up some information about the ghost or whatever.
Yep.
He says that he came to his house a while ago, but he didn't give him anything.
No, he didn't.
He says because he didn't want any part of it. But then he goes on to say, because they ask him how'd he get here, and this is the whole reveal of. They never say Project Paperclip. Of course they wouldn't.
Of course they don't, yeah.
But it's the whole thing. He's like, well, we just came legally. He's like, no one snuck in or anything like that. He's like, they brought us over. He's like, after the war, he says it was in shambles. Everyone was panicking. He said they came to them to invite them over to the war. So
well,
this is...
And he kind of lays out that whole thing, too, where he's like, well, there were 8 million Nazis in the war when it ended.
Yeah.
He goes, some of those people came over to the United States after the war. He goes, they transferred us over here.
Yeah.
By the droves, man.
Yeah, the United States transferred them over there, not Germany. Yeah. So this kind of gets out of hand. They're going to torture him with salt water. It looked like they had some kind of...
Yeah, they got
They obviously had a
scoop,
plan, yeah, because they don't like killing people.
Snorkeling.
Yeah, they like, making it
Poetic
last.
justice.
Yeah, making it last a little longer. But unfortunately, this gets interrupted, so they just got to...
Shoot him.
Well, they slit his throat.
Oh, that's right. They do. Yeah, they don't shoot him.
They don't shoot him. But they could have, too, because there was fireworks going off, so it would have been loud enough. But at this point, I don't remember the nun. She just takes off.
Well, she takes off with the high-up German man that she was looking for.
Yeah, because remember, again, they show, like,
I think she's a bad guy.
What?
I think she's German.
Well, she's MI6, remember? So we don't know a lot about her because she's British, right? So she came in because I don't think she's Jewish, but because they're constantly talking about MI6 because she has connections. Because at one point she meets up with a guy at a bench or something that gives her information. So she's high up in something. I don't know, man. I don't think she's.
It makes me think she's German.
I don't know. I think she she seemed because remember she starts just popping people. So that didn't make me.
That
think,
is true. She was killing some of those.
Because she seemed
Germans,
like it was a
even when
very
she was-
emotional kind of thing. Because he says, because remember he just mentions, he's like, yeah, and what's his name like lives across the street from me. He's like, they're everywhere. And then she gives him the real name, so she's just going around looking for
asking for a
and
Kenneth
anyone that's
something.
got a German accent, she's popping.
She's shooting. Yeah.
But yeah, so. But she eventually finds the guy that she's looking for. It's an older guy, and she just
In a wheelchair.
Yeah, and she just abandons Joe and Jonah.
Yeah. Well, that made me think maybe she was bad because she drove off when they were waiting for her.
I know, but I just think that she's
Just wants to murder him by herself.
very determined to get this guy. This guy did something because as soon as she heard that name, you saw her
clam up.
Yeah, her ears perked up for sure. Because remember she pulls a gun on Jonah in this episode.
Yep.
Which is it's a big deal.
It's a big deal. Very big deal.
But while this is happening, Lonnie learns that he didn't get an acting job. He lost the job to Richard Dreyfuss.
Which is hilarious.
It's like
Jaws.
Yeah, the biggest actor at the time in the world. And he's like, I can't believe I lost to that guy. Yeah, Richard Dreyfuss. Fucking everyone loves Richard Dreyfuss.
Course,
no one likes Lonnie Flash. Come on, guy. But yeah, this is a small part. I only bring it up because it was funny. It has nothing to do with the story at all. But they end up going because this is where he's at like the feed store picking up manure to feed the lady.
Woman, yeah.
The propaganda lady. They feed her a lot of horse shit.
They do. Literal horse shit.
She feeds them a lot of horse shit
She
by
does.
saying that she doesn't know anything about anything. Right? And she's like this high up, like conservative or whatever like that. Some bullshit. But yeah, so they end up torturing her, feeding her shit, which isn't the worst torture.
No, it's not the worst thing. No, that's what I was
Drowning
thinking
in
too.
salt
I'm like,
water.
this is not as bad as other ones.
No, definitely not.
But I thought it was the most theatrical Al Pacino got Y'all
Well,
gonna
it's the most-
tell me?
It's the most emotional he gets.
Yeah, he
for
gets
sure.
all freaked
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Because something happens.
out about it.
Something happens in this episode where it's getting it's getting too close for him or whatever. Because she ends up not giving them anything, and they have no evidence that she was even a Nazi.
Nope.
This is when it kind of blurs because they can't go around be killing innocent people because then you
course
know
not.
makes them just as bad
Yeah,
as these
they're-
fucking
they're-
Nazis.
yeah.
Yeah. But something he saw because she says something to him that's I don't know, something propaganda or something, but because he immediately pulls a gun out and kills her.
Well,
without
remember, she calls him the great pretender, clever tongue.
Golden tongue or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, great pretender, clever tongue. And he says, I've heard enough of that
I've heard
bullshit
enough.
because it looked like she was going to say something else.
And he just pulled out his gun and shot her right in the head.
Yep. And then they're all kind of freaking out about this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're
So
like,
she wasn't they didn't know for sure, evidence and all, that she was a Nazi. Even though he was right. But
well, he knows. I mean, he was there
Yeah.
during the time. None of these other people were.
good point.
But it was a risky thing. It was a risky thing. for her.
Definitely could have
And
been
he
risky.
actually didn't know because he ended up finding out that he saw a picture of her later that was in the journal that he found after she died.
Yeah, that red journal.
Yeah. But he knew, not because of that, he knew after she said great pretender, clever tongue, whatever that meant, he knew immediately. He didn't know any evidence. But the rest
Must
of
be
them
a
needed.
German saying. Or a Nazi saying.
Or
rather.
something they just know about him that only they would know, like
Yeah,
in the
good point.
camps or whatever like that. But yeah, so she's dead. They're all kind of freaking out.
Maybe
but,
he's not Jewish.
He is. He's got the tattoo.
Good point. But he might not be Jewish. He's definitely in the concentration camps, but he might not be Jewish.
Yeah, but that wouldn't even matter.
I know.
It wouldn't make any difference.
I know. I'm just trying to come up with something as to why she called him.
Yeah, well, because
the great pretender,
it was a
clever
big.
tongue.
I mean, it's obviously going to
There's
play
a moment.
part. Yeah,
There's a reason
Yeah.
why it's in there.
because that was like the climax of the. Because that was the first kind of thing we saw that. Oh, maybe there's more to this Myers guy than just pretending or just hunting down Nazis or whatever.
Right.
Maybe there's something dark about him. Maybe he's doing this for another reason.
Mm-hmm.
But so they're gonna leave in a big hurry, and who's waiting for him outside the fucking the house is Travis. He's got a car bomb.
He does, and he lets her go, lets her flick.
Yeah, which
Which was weird because the driver was
exactly.
in the car.
This didn't make any sense.
It didn't make any
Didn't
sense
make
for
any
me. And the
sense.
driver starts the car and then it blows up.
the
And I was
dr-
like,
the
why did
bomb-
the driver
Yeah,
not see someone plant it?
it's a huge bomb for one. They show
Very
the bomb.
big bomb.
And it's about 8 kerosene drums, and it's insane. So yeah, they do that, and yes, because to plant the bomb, the driver was in the car the entire
Mm-hmm.
time, and he would have to plant the bomb before because he drove to the house,
Right.
And the bomb goes off when the car starts. Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
You just kind of disbelief there, but yeah, it blows up, but it's supposed to blow up Myers and all of them, you know, and it ends up not blowing up them. So he's pissed. He's got to take matters into his own hands.
Yep.
And he's already killed 2 other people in the back of his trunk. I think those were Nazis.
Yeah, they must have been.
Because Mary, he's like, make me the delivery boy or some shit because he's still pissed. So he takes matters in his own hand. He takes a shotgun, tries to shoot them. Doesn't happen. They get away. And Travis also gets away. But that's pretty much how it ends is they have this little red book, though. And that's what Myers says. He's like, I knew she was a Nazi because of the camera.
Yeah.
He didn't tell them that he knew she was a Nazi because of what she said. So he's keeping secrets.
He is keeping secrets. And there's a reason why, which we will find out in the second half of this.
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah. That's how it ends. What's your thoughts, Mason? What's gonna happen?
Oh man, I don't know. But I think you should scroll up a little bit. I don't want to see that.
Well, it was going to show us the first 2 sentences. It's not going to get right into it.
Yeah, no, I'm excited about this show. I think it. Yeah, I think the nun's a bad guy. I'm just gonna say it right now.
Crazy.
I haven't watched the second half of this show yet, but I think she's gonna be a bad guy.
Yeah, I don't know about that. My big thought is right now they got to get that trade thing in because they got to get the chemicals up from Paraguay or whatever, and I think they're gonna July 13th. It's not a holiday, but I think they're just gonna start poisoning people, putting in like the water or something like that. Typical fucking bad guy
Nazi shit.
Yeah, poison the watering hole, something like that. Who knows? We have 5 more episodes left,
do.
though.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
We should wrap this up.
We know these Nazis love 4th of July, though.
They do.
They
They do party hard on 4th of July.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
All righty. Well, that's our episode, guys. If you're on YouTube, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. Our podcast on audio formats, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher. My name is Mason Knight. That is Cash Kraus, and we got to get going. So until next time.
Adios.